Hello, I'm Coach Kirk from Hartsville Country Club in South Carolina. We're starting a series of tennis tips, and today I want to talk about the code of conduct and bad line calls. When we play tennis, it's self-governed. I'm playing against my opponent. They aim at my side of the court. The ball lands on my side of the court. I'm responsible for making that call, and I need to make a call with integrity and honor so that we can have a good match. That is a match based upon honor and integrity, courtesy and cooperation, as is stated in the Code of Conduct. Now, one of the things that needs to happen in our little tennis world right now is less than 1% of the tennis population has read the Code of Conduct. Go read the Code of Conduct. It's not that long, and it fills in the gaps of unwritten rules to tennis to make the game more enjoyable, because it's one of the sports where you're on your own. Team sports, you have teammates, you have a coach. In tennis, you're on your own on the court, and you want to win so badly, especially when you're a junior. You're under pressure. You don't have the emotional aptitude to manage stress, and so we tend to preserve ourselves and be stingy and call balls in our favor. And you actually want to do the opposite. And if you do the opposite, which you want to be the salmon that swims opposite of the school of salmon, right? You want to be a person that is known to be a good sport, all right? And when you're a good sport, you get invited to more events, more parties, you get more opportunities. You become mentally stronger than your opponents that are closed in, narrow, and stingy, right? So you don't want to be that stinkeroo, the one that's labeled to be a cheater. So what are we going to do when we start to have a problem with an opponent that's making bad calls? Okay, let's go through a couple of things. First of all, if you look at the Code of Conduct, when you're in doubt about a call, you call it into the favor of your opponent. Meaning, if I'm not sure if the ball was in or out, it's in. It's in for my opponent, okay? You're on the run, you don't have perfect eyesight, you're off balance, the ball's far away, and you want to call it out, right? That happens a lot. It happens at the adult level too, particularly on clay courts. People go looking for evidence to support their biased hunch that is in their favor. That's terrible. If you didn't know, if you're not sure if the ball was in or out, if you have a 1% iota thought that it might have been in instead of out, then you call it to your opponent's favor. That's just the cool thing to do, right? But people are too worried about missing or losing, 1 or 2 or 3 points due to a bad call, and they lose their mind. So when you're playing somebody, the first time they make a bad call, give them a little grace. Maybe you didn't see it well. It's closer to them. It's on their side of the court. It might have been in. Now, if it was obviously in and they just missed it, maybe they just missed it. So don't explode. Don't turn the match into a nightmare on the first call. But you can question it. Question it with some poise and some dignity. Be bigger than the situation. The second time it happens, get up a little closer to the net and go, hey, Sam, are you sure? I think we missed the last one. We had a little disagreement, and now we're having another disagreement. Are you sure? Okay. The third time it happens, walk up to the net, get close, and give it a good stare and go, look, it looks like we're having a problem agreeing on line calls. Let's go get a monitor. Let's go get an umpire to help us. And if you go through that progress, that kind of progression, it tends to shut down the behavior, because nobody really wants to see things escalate. Now, some cheaters, particularly with the adults, they get really good at it. They've been grooming themselves for this for a long time. They'll turn it around and put it back at you and start screaming and making a big deal. So you want to keep your voice calm and low, be the one that's under control, right? But be prepared for that. The stinkers are really good at cheating. So how do you deal with them? Well, I was coached with something really valuable long ago, and I do it for all my matches, but it especially is helpful with people that cheat. And it seems unfair, but what I do is I shrink the court about 4 feet on the single sideline on both sides and the baseline. So my court is a little smaller in my head than the actual lines of the court. And what that does is it lifts my consistency. I get a lot of balls in play, right? And also what it does is it manages my mistakes. My unforced error count goes down. But here's where it really helps, is with the cheater, I'm no longer flirting with the line, so they have less chances to call the ball out. Now, on serving, that's a little more challenging, right? Because we're trying to hit some spots, right? But even there, if I'm playing a notorious cheater, I'm going to put a lot more balls at their belly, right? And you can't do things about, balls that are a little bit long. It's hard to change the depth of the ball on a serve, unless you're very skilled. And that seems like a lot to have to do, but sometimes that's what you got to do against the cheaters. And don't give them the chance to steal from you as much. Now, terribly and sadly, some coaches and some parents will tell their student or their child, eye for an eye. If they cheat you, cheat them back. And then things go very sour in our sport. That is one of the few sports where you have to go sort out your problems on your own. Starts to get pushed into the, other categories. Well, maybe we should have some coaching on court. Maybe we should have, more monitors. But when you're first starting out and learning, you got to learn how to be a sportsman and learn how to manage the problem on the court by yourself and overcome that. And as you get very good, then you're going to have some lines people and an umpire helping you, right? And the really great competitors, and even in the code of conduct, there's a section in the article there where it talks about when I've hit a ball, if I know that I've hit it out, I'm going to call it against myself. Now, 99% of the time, the call is made by your opponent. I aim at their court and they make the call, right? But if you're so sure of yourself and you're not worried about a couple of points here and there because you really want to earn the win, you'll call a ball against yourself, because that's a higher level of sportsmanship. And when you do that, you tend to get the karma back. And when you do that and you play a lot of tournaments, you get known as being that type of person. People want to be around you. People want to play tennis with you. The people that are the stinkers and the cheaters, they don't get invited to the special events, and they get known to be that person. Don't be that guy, don't be that girl. Another thing that's going to help you guys is make your calls quickly and make them verbally, as well as make a hand signal. In, out. Add that to it. Do it quickly. That eliminates and diminishes the chance of escalating problems. So delay in call causes problems too. Okay. Anyway, I hope that is helpful for you. And if you have any questions, give me a call. Coach Kirk at Hartsville Country Club in South Carolina. Go out and enjoy tennis, read the code of conduct, and enjoy the game.